Why do we feel good when we kiss someone, eat sugary treats, or achieve career success? Because of dopamine. Dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter chemical that travels through the nervous system to bring messages to our brain. How dopamine works in a human body? I'm glad you asked the question because this video will bring you all the answers that you seek. And don't forget to support our channel by sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Neurotransmitters are defined as a group of chemical agents released by neurons. These chemical messengers link the brain and spinal cord to muscles, organs, and glands by sending signals to perform certain functions in the body. They also interact with specific sites called receptors, located throughout the brain to regulate emotions, memory, cognitive function, attention span, energy, appetite, cravings, sensitivity to pain, and sleep patterns. Dopamine as a neurotransmitter has the effect of giving you pleasure, a sense of reward, and therefore motivation to do something. Dopamine is the molecule that is behind our most sinful impulses and also our cravings such as lust, addiction, whether to chocolate, cocaine, sex, or gambling, and is often referred to as the feel-good chemical. When you eat junk food, you feel good afterward. Why is this? There is a system in your brain called the reward system. This system is designed to reward you when you're doing things that advance your chance of survival. In the olden days, people had to hunt for food. If you didn't have a good hunting day, you will be left with an empty stomach, and your chance of survival will decrease by the day until you cross path with a bison. Nowadays, the only thing you have to do to get food is open your fridge or cupboard, or drag yourself to the next grocery store, takeaway, or restaurant. Our problem these days is that we are eating too much food. Eating constantly highly increases our chance of being overweight. Eating is becoming addictive because it makes us feel good. Until the next day, when we can't fit in our favorite pair of jeans, and our reflection in the mirror makes all our previous feel-good factor disappear. When we experience pleasurable events like eating satisfying food, sexual activity, or drug use, our body releases dopamine. Our brain then associates the release of dopamine with pleasure and creates a reward system. Dopamine is also associated with reinforcement. It is thought to be the chemical that motivates a person to do something repeatedly. Reward and reinforcement help us create our personal habits. Humans tend to gravitate toward positive experience and avoid negative ones. Dopamine is what drives us to create these patterns. This is why people with low dopamine levels may be more likely to develop addiction to drugs, food, sex, or alcohol. Talking about addiction, drugs like cocaine, for example, make people feel good not because of the drug itself, but because it stimulates dopamine. That is why cocaine and sugar are so addictive. They satisfy your natural reward system in a big way. But repeated drug use also raises the threshold for this kind of pleasure. This means you need to take more to get the same high. In addition to the risk of making yourself a target for the police, using drugs such as cocaine makes your body less able to produce dopamine naturally. This leads to emotional low when you are sober, turning you into somebody people don't want to be around anymore. Talking about cocaine and sugar, did you know that sugar is more addictive than cocaine? A study published in the Public Library of Science describes a strange rat experiment involving sugar and cocaine. The rats were given cocaine until they became dependent on it. Then researchers provided them with a choice. The rats could choose to switch to sugar. 94% of the rats chose to switch to sugar, even when they had to work hard to access it. This study concluded that sugar was more addictive than cocaine. Healthy levels of dopamine drive us to seek and repeat pleasurable activities, while low levels can have an adverse physical and psychological impact. When the brain has a healthy level of dopamine, we feel good. Our motivation increases. We are productive. We are driven, excited about life, focused, and attentive. Healthy levels of dopamine can also make us more social and extroverted. This feel-good neurotransmitter helps increase our empathy for others and can also stimulate creativity. When the brain doesn't have enough dopamine, however, our motivation plummets, our emotions change, and our behavior can take a drastic turn for the worse. If you are dopamine deficient, you lack motivation and drive. You become fatigued, unmotivated, depressed, and anxious. Low dopamine has been linked to impairments such as anxiety, addiction, brain fog, mental health disorders, mood swings, delusional behavior, depression, feeling of hopelessness, low self-esteem, lack of motivation, suicidal thoughts or thoughts of self-harm, low sex drive, and psychosis. There is no doubt that having a good level of dopamine is important for our well-being, as low amounts of this neurotransmitter can negatively impact a person's quality of life. So, we have to keep a close eye on our dopamine level and make sure to monitor it carefully. Is there an app out there that does that? If not, maybe some IT genius out there could take it upon themselves to add a feel-good factor dopamine monitor on all our electronic devices. But in the meantime, please pay attention to these possible symptoms of low dopamine: aches and pain, tremors, muscle spasms, stiffness, difficulty moving, loss of balance, disturbed sleep patterns, such as insomnia or excessive sleeping. It is important to note that this is not a diagnostic. It is just a guideline. Everyone is different and may not exhibit the same symptoms. The good news is that this wonderful machine called our body is able to produce dopamine naturally. How? I am so glad you asked this question, because there are ways to increase the production of dopamine naturally. Engaging in healthy lifestyle practices can be one of the easiest ways to naturally increase dopamine levels. Exercise is a dopamine booster. Keep moving. Eat healthy, preferably a keto, low-carb, high-protein diet will help you lower your insulin level, and insulin has a huge role in regulating dopamine. Foods that are rich in tyrosine like almonds, eggs, fish, and chicken are especially good for boosting dopamine levels. Don't drink too much coffee. Reduce your sugar intake. Reduce your alcohol intake. Laugh as often as you can. Laughter releases feel-good chemicals. Connect with others. Find a sense of purpose. Go dancing. Learn something new. Challenge yourself regularly. Spend time in nature and in the sun. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is a well-known condition in which people feel sad or depressed during the winter when they are not exposed to enough sunlight. While sun exposure may boost dopamine levels and improve mood, it is important, however, to adhere to safety guidelines, because getting too much sun can be harmful. Get a massage. You've probably heard of the many benefits a massage can bring to your body. Massages have been proven to be beneficial for reducing stress, aches, and muscle strains. However, very few people know the impact massage has on the human brain. A paper published in the International Journal of Neuroscience showed that the stress hormone known as cortisol decreased significantly following a massage therapy. The study revealed that cortisol levels decreased as much as 31% following a massage. With a massage, you are in a win-win type of scenario. Massage decreases your cortisol level and increases your dopamine level. Listen to your favorite music. A study investigating the effects of music on dopamine found that people who listened to instrumental songs that gave them an emotional response had a 9% increase in brain dopamine levels. Get enough sleep. Getting regular, good quality sleep can also help our dopamine levels balance. The National Sleep Foundation recommends 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. The bottom line is that dopamine is an important brain chemical that influences your mood, feelings of reward, and motivation. Levels of dopamine are generally well regulated by the body, but if not, you can boost your level naturally by making a few diet and lifestyle changes. Drop the cocaine, but please do not switch to sugar. Go outside for a run or a walk on a sunny day. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, because it will give you such a feel-good factor that your dopamine level will for sure increase a notch or two.